James Clear in Atomic Efficiency Habits. Well, he barely spoke about goals, and he really focused on habits, and it's the habits that are going to build the success. And here's the reason for that. And what you're going to get out of this is the number one mistake that I've seen people go after when it comes to freeing up their time, their mental energy, and their overwhelm in time management and running their business, their life, is that they're going to focus on not streamlining the habits. Normally, people are going to focus on their project and their task management, or to go clear up everything. And when James Clear talks about it, it's the habits that build the success, right? So if it's the habits that actually build the success of the vehicle, then wouldn't it be best to go focus on the habits rather than doing the one thing that keeps building, and once we complete it, we never have to do it again? So for example, we might need to go hire a new web designer, go put out the resume, go do the hiring. Like, it's just step by step by step, and we never need to go do that again. But the other habits, whether if it's in your health, handling your email, doing the marketing, doing the posts, the things that you must do over and over and over again, every day or every week, twice a month, once a quarter, those are the habits that are actually going to build the success of the business. So once we get out of our head into the right place, which would be what is the right place for managing our habits, that seems to be the success. So out of my 15, 20 years of supporting people and going to create companies that are extremely efficient and productive, that have a lot of time off as well, 100% of them did not have a place on how they kept organized the habits in the business that they needed to do to make it successful and to continue to improve upon. And we call that the business playbook. The business playbook is like looking up something, seeing like, here's every area of the organization. So to make this simple, I like to look at and compare it like in a personal world, right? In our personal world, we have our health, mental health, physical health. We might have our home to manage. We have our relationships with our family, our kids, our tribe. We have a relationship with ourselves. We might want to give back. How's our money, right? Those are departments. And each one of those departments, we have habits that we must do in order to make it amazing. How often do we want to go to the gym? How often do we need to do the laundry, clean the house, pay the bills, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Well, now let's transform this into a business. So the key fundamentals of a core task management system, if you ever listen to David Allen, the people who I've seen who are most like truly effed up and overwhelmed, they manage most of the business from their head and not it being written out. And the second phase is that people have these things written out, but they don't have it in a simple, organized structure. So let's focus on the habits, right? So what they don't have is an easy playbook to dump their habits. And what's great about this is if you do this once, you really never need to do it again. So by going to focus on your habits first and putting that into a clear playbook, it has a radical return on your investment with your time and mental energy, and you only need to do it once. It's not like you need to keep going to the gym every day to build the muscle. It's not like you need to keep eating right all the time. It's like you handle this once, you learn to get out of your head, and the habits that you're doing to build the business and the life into a playbook structure, game over. And like I said, 100% of the companies that I noticed who are time strapped, they're stressed out, they're overwhelmed, things are in chaos, no one can agree on what's happening. You're either managing from the head or they don't have a business playbook. So we normally go after that first. And I like kind of how James Clear looks at it is, what are the tiny habits that make a monumental change? By choosing to stop using your head to remember everything, because that's a horrible place to remember it, that's a monumental change. By choosing to get a playbook and to have a structure that says, well, okay, here's every area of the business. And this is what I need to do and how often to keep it together. Next thing you know, you have a solid structure that shows the entire structure of your business. And then from there, you can start to see those lines that you want to delegate, right? Now, let's take this into a whole nother world that I've been thinking about recently in team I was building with when it comes to AI. AI is coming in, it's taking over and doing all the things. You know who's crushing it? I mean, you know what you need to have in place even before you let AI come in and take over things is a playbook. Now, AI is doing a great job on helping people build their playbooks and streamline their processes. But imagine if you saw on one massive piece of paper, even running multiple multi-million-dollar companies, which I did, we had it on a Google Sheet. It might have been 50 or 80 lines, but we saw everything of here's the department and here's what it needs to do and how often to keep it together. Now let's use another metaphor. Let's think of an airplane. Would you get onto an airplane if the mechanics and the pilots and the stewardess and all the people involved in it operated from their head on what to do? Or do they have clear checklists on what do they need to do and how often? They're out of the head into clear master checklists so that nothing crashes, right? There's clear agreements. That's how you get to operate your business and your life, because that's what frees up all the time in the overwhelm. So by using this tiny habit that makes a big difference for you to get out of your head and into a business playbook, what's amazing about it? They're free. You just got to learn the structure. You just got to learn how to brainstorm into that place. There's different ways that you can do it, but you could be taught in 5 to 10 minutes on what the structure is. And once you go handle that, amazing things happen. You become extremely adaptable and scalable. You start to see the line items that you no longer want to do. Because if I'm going to give you something that I don't want to do, right, I first need to see the list of all the things that I need to do and how often anyhow. And if I start to write out the SOP and how to do it, or we do it together, then I can be like, you see, Billy, you see how we do this? Awesome. Handoff. Now, what if I want to scale the company? I need to create 10 of me, or I need to create 10 of you. Next thing you know, here's what you do. Here's how often, and here's how we do it. And then boom, you go into scaling mode. It's so easy. So if it's the habits that build the success, and James Clear gets adamant over and over and over again. It's like all the time he's like, first look at the habits and streamline those. Look at the habits and streamline those. And if you had all your habits written down on how to do it, you can see how to streamline those over and over and over again. Not just to streamline them and to save a lot of time on how to do it, but also you no longer need to do it because you can hand it off to someone else. Or what's happening now, all of a sudden you're taking AI and you're being like, go learn this. But if you're going to have that happen, you must have that first tiny habit down as I'm going to make the decision right now regarding all of my business in my life, the things that are recurring in nature, which 80% or more is probably daily or weekly. There's some things that might happen once a month or once a quarter, that you can brainstorm on that in an easy, organized structure that has a single source of truth that everyone agrees upon. You will easily, based on how you are currently doing everything, which these things normally take up 80, 90% of your life, you will cut your time in half on how you do it. You will literally free your time in half in how you're actually running the business and life. Then you'll also be able to start to hand it off, and then you'll be able to duplicate yourself that's there. And I'm going to keep coming back to, if you use your head, you're dead. But please, please, if you don't have your playbook together, it is so easy to get a template and a structure so that you can start. Now, a lot of people start to go build these SOPs and they start to write everything how to do it. Awesome, you're starting. But what happens with a lot of them is, you ever notice that they have it all over the place and they don't know how to keep it together? They got SOPs over here, SOPs over there, SOPs over there, but they don't have a central table of contents where they can go refer to everything. That's one of the big elements of the playbook. Hands down, by choosing to focus on this first and going to build it once and making a commitment to yourself and the rest of the team that you will use the playbook as a building place and keep it up to date and pretty current, your efficiency will go through the roof, your productivity will go through the roof, and your overwhelm will just go way down. You'll have so much peace of mind that you can do it. I really believe that we're here to work to live. I don't know how many people have started their companies, their lives to be like, I want to be stuck in this forever. And if you want to be able to hand off anything, if you want to be able to trust that things are going to work well when you're gone, whether if it's you're at home for the day, go on a trip, You need to be sick. This is for anyone. If you want things to run well so that you can have a day off, whether if you're the employee or the employer, you get to have the habits out of your head and into the playbook so that it's easy to hand off and easy for other people to do. And have you ever noticed that when you have that written down in one place, Stephen Covey has this awesome quote. He says that all relationship breakdowns are from a lack of clear agreement. And if you and I have a piece of paper and we talked about something, it's easy to write down that agreement on who's doing what. And when think about it like watering the plants, taking out the garbage. It's the same application into business. If you really want to screw it up, just use your head, use your memory, see how amazing humans are at absolutely remembering shit. We distort, we delete, we twist it out, we make up our own stories. Half the shit that happened in life really didn't even happen. Isn't that crazy? So that solution is for this atomic habit, for your sanity and your efficiency, get out of the head when it comes to your habits. Put it into a playbook, one page, and build it from there. Because if you do that, then it allows you to focus on the habits and streamline those. And then it also frees up a lot of time and energy to reinvest into those habits or into growing other things over and over. You got to be able to see the view on how you're running everything. You get to be able to see the view on all the areas of your life or all the areas of the business. That's how you can be in control. That's how you can be in a trustworthy place that you can see everything, et cetera, et cetera. I just see it over and over and over again. So if you make this one decision to stop using your head when it comes to your habits and actually get your playbook structure in place, you can have the structure in place, I guarantee, within 30 to 60 minutes. And the return on investment that you will have for your time and therefore your money and your emotions, it's like freedom. And then from there, you can start to build out the how-tos with other people. And what's amazing these days with the tools that we have, it's amazing how fast the how-tos can build. I've had things even watch me on a video, or as I'm going to do it on a computer, I'm like, SOP this, and it just tracks. It tracks the employees, and it writes out 80, 90% of the SOP for you. It's incredible. So the importance of the habits, that those are what build the success, and it's the recurring things that are going to build it over and over. And if the importance is to streamline those as much as those to focus on it, then focus on that atomic efficiency habit first, which is with your habits and the things that are recurring nature in your business. Get it out of your head into the playbook structure. And if you need help building this playbook structure, I do screen shares on it. We do videos. It's crazy easy. And you can just go and build from there. I'm happy that when I learned this, because when I was like feeling stressed out and overwhelmed and had a couple different companies and a relationship and a dog owner and a hockey player, that once it kind of cracked me, like it broke me, then I found the right people. Then I'm like, this is all I had to be doing. I'm like, you got to be like fucking kidding me right now. Within 30 days, my time in office went down 80, 90%. I got to move to the beach in San Diego. We had multiple companies. Everyone in the company got a lot more time off, and we knew how to cover each other. We set a growth record after being in the top 200 already in sales. We became the second fastest grower in the industry simply because we took our mind in the business playbook and we looked at it and we said, what are we doing and how often and how we do it? And we got some basic time management systems in place. And within 30 days, we freed up half of our time and our energy, and we simply reinvested it into time off. And now we got space for more sales and more creativity and how to grow the things. So if you don't have a complete time management system, a playbook is a part of it, but it's a great place for you to start. I mean, there's areas that cover whether it's just email, all your inboxes, project and task management, the business playbook, and what you got to do to keep everything together so that nothing falls through the cracks. That's a complete time management system and having it leak proof. But when you get to know what you need to do and how often to keep all that together, like magic happens. So when it comes to your habits, when it comes to the things that build success, when it comes to the habits that are building success in it, just get it out of your head into a business playbook structure. And if you want some examples on how to see that, great. Can't do it on my phone right now, but just ask. We're just here for freedom. I believe that. We're here to have businesses not only that are financially amazing, but they're emotionally amazing, which means they can run well without us. So we can take more vacations and have a lot more time off or be there when others need us to do a lot more what we love with the people that we love. Cheers.